All right, family. Put that down. My tea. I don't even know if it's still hot again. That's right, family. I'm black. I'm black again. About to put that smoke down. We live on YouTube and Facebook. If you niggas up, you about to get the truth. That's right. It's the truth hour. With General Sarah Student said he kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be happy. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarah Student Seti DVDs. That's right. We got sales going on all the time. Big discounts, big sales. All you have to do is go to the KingSeti.com, go to the category menu, hit the sales tab, and boom, big discounts, family, all the time. You feel me? Classic and Jurassic General Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, and hoodies for the kings and the queen. We got African and Kemetic jewelry for the family, medallions, necklaces, bracelets, finger rings, earrings. We got it for your family. We got the holistic tonics and remedies. Check with me tomorrow. We got a ton of more of new holistic tonics coming in. And we also got all the home decor that you need, accessories for every room in the house, living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom. We got you. Check us out. Don't hesitate, but it's never too late. You check me out at kingseti.com. Ring the alarm. That's right. Class is 9 in session. General Seti University, generalseti.com. Over 900 video presentations for the family on everything under the sun, dealing with blackness. Too raw for YouTube. Seti with the master teachers. Ancient Egypt, Ethiopia, Nubia, India, Olmec, Voyages in the Nile, Freemasonry exposed, occult sciences, debates, everything, religion, interviews, highlights from over 50 cities, black politics and economics for the family. The complete General Sarah Seti website. Get on over there and get your behind in class. Get your ass in class. That's right. And most definitely, we keep it popping on Patreon. BPC making noise. We never come. You get exclusive live streams, Too Hot to Handle on YouTube, and a whole lot of other internet platforms. You know, it's hot. You feel me? And I've been getting all type of, you know, information coming back. You know what I'm saying, from all these damn internet providers and shit, this, that, and the third, but it don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? I still do me. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube pages, General Seti, King Seti, Sarah Student Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just be respectful, because I will ban your ass quick. All right, and I don't want to do it, so don't make me. All right, family. Now we got a hot one today. Now you see, we got some fire. Now we starting to turn. We starting to turn the fire up a little bit. You feel me? Starting to turn the fire up a little bit. That's the one show is right there, right there, right there. Oh, it's right there. Okay, let me go on and get busy. Yeah, look at old Krampus back there. All right. Tonight we're going to be dealing with Solomon and the Jewish worship of the god Saturn. You see, and a lot of people, we dealing with some mysteries tonight. We dealing with the occult. And a lot of people say, in the Bible is the fucking occult. Yeah. Motherfuckers say pagans. The goddamn Christians is pagans. You know what I'm saying? Shit. All that shit is occult. Let me get that top one out of there. And so, let me get, let me hook that up too. Let me get that bottom out of there so I can see. see how that goes. That's enough back. That's back. That's back. Let me see if I can. Okay. All right. Now, when we say Saturn, a lot of people like, they don't, they can't get past the planet. So they think, oh, this motherfucker talking about this. No, we talking about the God, from Rome, whom the planet was named after. You see, who was the God of all gods. You see, the God, when you're dealing with the European, who was the supreme God of all gods. You see, and when you think about the days of the week, even when you think about the days of the week, and you see how when that they transformed the names of the week from the Roman names to the Viking names, but they left Saturday the same. See, they didn't change Saturday. They could have changed Saturday. I don't know if they have a God that's equivalent to Saturn. You see? And so the energy of Saturn, and if you know, in Rome, he's referred to as Saturn. In Greece, he was known as Kronos. You see, he was known as Kronos, and he was the father of Zeus. Now in Rome, he was Saturn, and he was the father of Jupiter. You see, and so in many respects, the gods, they primarily 95% the same. And then you got some variations here and there. And so Kronos was a very vile and malicious god. You see, he was vile and he was malicious. Okay, he was a devourer of his own children. Number one, he was a devourer of his own children, and the only one of his children that survived was Zeus. Now, Zeus ended up freeing his siblings much later, but Kronos had ate his children. He had ate his siblings. And so that's one of the key aspects about the Saturn Kronos spirit. You understand? Demonic entity. You see, they are a devourer of children. And to show family who think this shit is a game, and you think this just some movie shit, a movie script. Every aspect or attribute of this motherfucker, I highlight it and show you within our own community how the demonic entity is eating on us. You understand? Eating on us. So when you think of the Kronos and being a devourer of children, and you look at our children, and you see what's happening to our children, and have been happening, okay, since day one. You see that the Kronos demonic energy has always been prevalent. You understand? And overwhelming in our community, amongst our people. You see? And not only was he a devourer of his own children, he mutilated his own father. He castrated his own father, Uranus. Castrated with the sickle. Because one of his symbols is the sickle. He is the god of harvest. He is the god of harvest. One of his attributes. They call him the reaper. He's the reaper. So you already know he comes with the sickle. You see what I'm saying? And later, what you see, he has many archetypes. You see, what is an archetype? It's a character that embodies Saturn, you see, in all his attributes. But, say, for instance, like Herod, who was the king of Judea during the time of Jesus. We know he ain't lived, but for the story's sake, And so he was looking for this because, you know, his astrologers told him that this star was a prophecy. You understand that it would be the birth of the Messiah. And so he didn't know who the Messiah was. So he began to emphasize on all the young, children of boys of Judea. And so he just went to kill. And so that's a chronos energy. You see? And so Herod is an archetype of chronos. And they anticipated it. When they created Herod, they created him in the understanding that he was playing a role of Chronos or Saturn. You see? And so you also got the Moloch, who was a supposed battle, a Canaanite deity where they fed children. And he was they had an image of him, and it had a furnace connected to him where they would place the children in the furnace and shit like that. Another Chronos entity, archetype, you see, and they even say El is a archetype of Saturn. You see, El, who was a Mesopotamian, Baal Haman. All of these gods are archetypes of Saturn. You see, variations of Saturn, where children was mutilated and so on and so forth. And so, and so again, and so the lust, and when you think about him eating his children, it was for the lust of authority and power. You see, he couldn't see himself being out of power or anybody taking his power. So anybody that threatened his reign, he obliterated their ass. So you got to understand that he's an authoritarian, a despot. You know what I'm saying? And he'll do anything to remain in power. That's that Saturn energy. Very vicious and malicious, you see? And so, as we move along, we'll see that, and when you deal with the occult and Lucifer, we'll get off into that, is an archetype of Saturn. And when you listen and when you spell his name, Saturn, you will see that Satan is an antagram of Saturn. And not only is Satan and so is Santa. Both Santa and Satan are anagrams. You understand? Equating to Saturn. And so he is the God of gods. And so, when they went to name the planets, he was that particular because of the energy that it gave off. You can see Saturn be post-Satan and shit. You see what I'm saying? And they play, sounds that come from Saturn, and it's a very demonic goddamn sound coming from that damn planet. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, unwelcoming energy coming off that damn planet. And so when we start to say, when we talk about the Jews, and I'm going to talk about them, I don't have no problem because it's factual. You see, when you read the Talmud, it is so authoritarian. Yeah, it's so draconian. So when you say Saturnian, you almost saying draconian. They don't leave no room out. For the the Gentiles is less than human. Anything that's not Jewish is less than human. And so they got a very Saturnian belief system. You see, and when you read that, how they talk about other, very vicious and malicious the things that they speak about in that book. You see? And so let's move down in this. And so you see them cubes there. And so the cube is, and they try to use the term black cube, but you got to understand whose energy is, we're projecting. You got to understand whose energy we're projecting. This is not black people's history. I mean, creation. You see, this is their creation. So they are diametric opposites from us. And so, when they see black, they see evil. When we see black, we see divinity. And so when you understand, if I say black, and I'll make the correction, but understand in their mind, you see, in their mind, what they project. And so, and when you look at the eye, that's the eye of Sauron, who was on the Lord of the Rings. You see, that's his eye. And so his eye is, a diagram of Saturn. And so his energy is also of Saturn. And so we'll deal with the seal of Solomon. You see, the seal of Solomon, and which is the ring of Solomon. And so when you're talking about the Lord of the Ring, you got to understand that the Lord of the Ring is Saturn, but in Solomon is an archetype of Saturn. You see, because the ring that he supposedly possessed gave him the ability to control demonic energy. He had control over 72 demons. He was able to control the jinn in Islam through this ring that he held. And so the ring that he possessed was it was the ring of Saturn. Okay, that's the ring. When you look at the Lord of the Rings, that ring right there is the ring of Saturn. Okay, it is the ring of Saturn. And no matter, the lustful, you talk about the holiday spirit. That's the spirit, because the holidays is built around Saturn and his one of his beastial natures, which is pain. You see, and so when you look at the golem, that's pain. You see, and no matter, his lust for that ring, it ate his ass up. It ate his ass, it sucked all it in this. He was already ugly than a motherfucker before he put the ring on. Okay, he was already ugly. But you understand what I'm saying? But that fucking ring just ate his ass up. And so that's how it is when you in that Saturn energy. You see, you niggas is in America, which is run by the Saturn energy. You see, you can go down and look at every Capitol building, look just like Rome. You see, the eagle, that's the national eagle, is Rome. That's where they get it from. Which was the national bird of Rome, the eagle. You go in and so many things that America, and because they come from Britain, Britain was a colony of Rome. And so a lot of people, when we say America is Rome, people think you are actually being, what's the word? You're saying it as in, as if it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? But it's real. It's not in allegory. You see what I'm saying? You're being, you're saying it in allegory. No, we're being precise when we say that, America is an extension of Rome, because Britain was a colony of Rome. And the peoples that started this nation was from Britain. So they have a direct link to Rome. And so, of course, when you look out and you see so many, emblems and iconic things that come from Rome in America, then you can just imagine, because it's supposed to be Christian nations and shit. All these nations but yet and still, they've never changed the fucking days of the week that are named after other gods that their ancestors was worshiping before Christianity. Never changed it, so you can be in a Christian nation right now, and every fucking day of the week is named after a Viking or a Roman deity. Why? If y'all so into y'all Christianity, why are y'all calling on the names of other gods? Why? and claim to be goddamn Christians at the same time. You niggas is fake. If you're gonna be a pagan, nigga, rock your paganism. But don't perpetrate the fraud and say you ain't, you know. And so when we talking about the Jew, and we talking about we talking about the Sabbath, which is the Sabbath, and I hear Christians say, oh, well, I seen them online, they was talking against the Pope. They say, well, the Pope moved the fucking he moved the Sabbath. You can go all over the internet. They say the Pope changed it, which he probably did, and they they admitted that they changed. They admitted that they changed it. But at the same goddamn time, most of the Christians was up there bragging that it was Saturday, and now I guess they didn't understand that Saturday means Saturn's day. So while they was dissing the sun and say, oh, well, they moved it to Sunday and that had something, that's the Pope, man. They bragging that the fucking Sabbath is Saturday. And I say, well, damn, does it register to you niggas that Saturday means Saturn day? It don't got nothing to do with nothing in the fucking Bible, nigga. So what the fuck is you highlighting that fact for? You know what I'm saying? That don't verify your Christianity. You see? And so when you're looking at it, and we start talking about, the different aspects of Saturn, the different aspects of Saturn, we know that, the demonic energy that, Solomon and his jinn magic and the demonic control over the, entities from hell and shit, this, that, and the third. That today is called Kabbalah, okay? Where they conjure demons, and I go over that all the time, where they conjure demons and shit. If you conjure goddamn demons, you into demonology. Period. I don't give a fuck if you call angels too. That don't mean shit. That aspect, the part where you call the demon, that's demonology. So Kabbalists are also demonologists. Okay? They are also demonologists. That's one aspect of one who do Kabbalah. You see, they're supposedly able to control all entities. You understand, by naming them and words, knowing the proper words and shit, and all the sigils and that they use, and and different diagrams and shit that they got. They long before the Ouija board. The Ouija board is Kabbalah. That's all that it is. You see what I'm saying? And so when we start to talk about Saturn, you see, and we understand that one of the manifestations of Saturn is Pan, which is his bestial form as a goat. You see, so when you talk about the goat deities and shit, you see, when you talk about the Pan is the primordial goat deity. That's why they call him the great god Pan. He's not just God, the great god Pan. You see, and I believe that motherfucker LL, a Mason behind the scene, he know more than what he portrayed to know, because he used that goat, the greatest of all times and shit. And that's a attribute of Pan, the great god Pan. He's considered the greatest of all time. That's why when you talk about the college of deities, it's the pantheon. You see, and he brings the pandemonium. You see, and that was one of the attributes of the Saturnalia and the Bacchanalia. That his energy in all of that celebration shit of chaos. He brought the pandemonium. And he brought the festivities to a panic. You see what I'm saying? He had a very gross, sexual nature, a lewd and a deviant, extremely deviant sexual nature, to right now where you go and get the damn horny goat weed and shit, and and they named it after him, and so that's where it come from. You see, and so when you look at the goat, we got to understand some things here and be straight up with ourselves and understand that, because they, in the scriptures it said, that the Christ would come to separate the sheep from the goats. That's right. And so what does that mean? And so when you think of the goat with the straight hair, is that right? We got to deal with it now. We got to deal with it. We're gonna do this shit, let's do it. You see? We got to separate them. What is the sheep and what is the goat? The goat is the woolly hair. You see? These are zoo types. See, we're dealing with occultism now. These are zoo types. It ain't we're gonna say no, it's a zoo type and it's an occult meaning. And so we got to pull the veil back. Okay, we got to pull the veil back and we got to look and see that the straight hair, the goat is the straight hair, and the sheep is what? The wool. And see, they changed a lot of shit when they talked about, some things, and because the Christ is also Christianer. You don't understand it. They tell you to anoint. They say Christ means to anoint. But nobody say anoint with what? If you don't anoint him, motherfucker, what you gonna anoint him with? You gonna crack him on the motherfucking head with a pan, or what the fuck is you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? You say to anoint someone. And so the question should be, after, when you say to anoint, you ask the question, to anoint with what? And it says here, and when you read one of the passages, it said to anoint my head with oil. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to ask yourself, what is the oil? The oil is melanin. You see, to anoint, he anointed my head with oil. What oil? The oil is melanin. So when you look at Krishna in Sanskrit, Krishna means black. See, that's the difference. See, you don't understand. So you got to pull back the veil to understand these things. You see, you got to pull back the veil to understand these things. So you see right here, you see the baby, and you see that's Cronus. See, but he's in his beastial form. But you see, he's in his bestial form. And then when you look to the right, you will not believe that's Moses. You see? And so when you look at Moses, you see that his projection, his image is that of Saturn in his bestial form with the horns of Pan on his head. Because you got to understand that Pan is only a bestial manifestation of Saturn. They are twins. You see, they so close. They're twins. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why when you look, even when you go to the planet Saturn, the moon of all the moons, Pan is the closest moon. Pan. You see, that just show you, how close Pan and Saturn is. You see, showing you how close Pan and Saturn is. And so when you come down again, you see here, this is Moses. This shit look like Pan. You understand what I'm saying? It looks like Pan, but that show you that he was of Saturn. He was closely connected to them damn volcanoes too. He was closely connected to them. Hold on, family. Let me get that up out of here. I hate that. And so again, you seeing the straight head of the gun. You seeing this is Moses. You see, and so when you talk about the Sabbath, Sabbath is actually the worship of the planet Saturn, which is an anagram of Satan, which is also an anagram of Santa. The Saturnalia was practiced December 17th to the 21st or the 22nd, something like that. You see, and you got to understand at the time of the Gregorian calendar, it was leading up to the winter solstice. You see, it was leading up at that time. The winter solstice on the Julian calendar fell on December 25th. It didn't fall on the 21st. It fell on the 25th. You see, and if you keep the Sabbath, then you are carrying on the ancient worship of Cronus, a pagan god. That's what he is worshipped on Saturn's day, which is today called Saturday. And see, the thing is, when you look at the North Pole of Saturn, you see a hexagon. You see, and a hexagon is a flattened out cube. It's a cube. Okay, and also in the hexagon, you will find the six-pointed star, which today is used, you understand, by a lot of occult groups, from the Masons to the six-pointed star on the, which they call the Star of David, you see. And so when you go to the North Pole, Saturn, you will see the hexagon. And see, they drew the cube in there. And see, that's the cube that them Jews be wearing on their head. You see what I'm saying? They be walking around with that damn cube on their head. And when you look at the six-point star, when you go into the middle of it, when you got the two pyramids, one up, one down, if you go in the middle, that's what you got. You got a hexagon. And if you draw, as the diagram is showing, it's a cube inside of the six-pointed star of Israel, which is nothing more than the star of the Rothschild. Because it was on their shield before it was, because it really don't have nothing to do with the damn, they can't verify in no time that this star was, attributed to no David by no God, nothing in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? This is of a whole nother different monster. You see what I'm saying? That they're not telling you about. So when you look at the cube, you understand, you see that's the hexagon. But you know what I'm saying? But inside you see the hexagram. You see what I'm saying? You see the six-pointed star inside of the cube. And that's so this is where you see these cubes and shit. That's all around and shit, this is a way of, so that right there, I think they call it the Teflon. You see what I'm saying? And what's critical, they got that, you see that, how they didn't wrap that cord around their arm, and they wrap it around there 7 times. You see? They wrap it around there 7 times, and they got that damn cube on their head. You see? I was going to do that one, but. And it's very, it's critical, because the thing is that cube is the same damn cube that's right. And I've been exposed this shit long time ago, that cube is in Arabia, the Kaaba Allah. When you say Kabbalah, you understand Kaaba Allah. You see what I'm saying? And the Kaaba means the cube. And so when you say Kabbalah, you're talking about the Saturn cube magic. You see what I'm saying? The magic of the cube, which is nothing more than Saturn. That's the source of their magic. You see what I'm saying? And so when you break down Solomon's name, you got Solomon. You understand what I'm saying? But you understand that Sol is also the Roman god of the sun. And then you got Om, which is the Hindu god of the sun. And then you got On, which was the city of the sun in ancient Egypt. You see? And so in that aspect, you see that, and so many people say that Saturn was the second sun. They try to say that Saturn was the black sun. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do believe that they are expanding a lot of this knowledge in an area that, gives them some authority. But, because I don't care how they say that the Saturn was, the second sun. It's still, this earth, this universe is codified based on the laws of the cosmos. And it is the sun that we know today that is heating this earth up and is providing life to the vegetation and to us. You know what I'm saying? And it's that way, and it has been that way. And it is, and that's the laws of the cosmos. And so we see that they're trying, and that's that Saturn energy where they're trying to manipulate the facts. You understand? And we got to understand that they are manipulated. And so this is right here, they are manipulated. And you see right there, this is from the Christians. You see what they say? They say Saturday is the Sabbath day, said the Pope. Catholic bishop confessed that they changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. Well, confession is good for the soul. And so I was seeing all this shit that the Christians was putting up, and they acting as if that's something to be proud of, that this, that's Saturn. Do they understand what that means? You see what I'm saying? And so, when we start talking about this Saturn energy, we talk about the 6th and 7th book of Moses and shit, which is Kabbalah. You see what I'm saying? This right here is Saturn energy. You see? And it talks about the mystery of all the mysteries, citation on all the spirits, the spirit in the burning bush, helmet of Moses and Aaron, healing by amulets, the wonderful magical and spirit arts of Moses and Aaron, and all the old wise Hebrews taken from the Mosaic books of the Kabbalah and the Talmud. You hear that? From the Talmud for the good of mankind. I don't know what it said. Rare old Mosaic books of the Talmud and Kabbalah. This rare and wonderful book translated under personal supervision into the English language and published for the first time with exact copies of over 125 seals, signs, emblems, etc., used by Moses, Aaron, Israelites, Egyptians, and their astounding magical and other arts, including the period of time covered by the Old and New Testament. This wonderful translation is of great importance to the student of occultism. The extracts from the old and rare Mosaic books of the Talmud and Kabbalah are invaluable. So this show you where they got them from. The book contains 125 illustrations, which are exact copies of the stone tablets used by the Israelites and Egyptians to accomplish their designs for good or evil, and are separately explained. Okay? And so it says translated from the German original word for word according to the old ancient writings and famous manuscripts of the Hebrew. So it show you where it comes from. And so right there again, that is a seal of Solomon. And so we back to the hexagon. We back to the hexagon, family. You see what I'm saying? We back. And so when you see right there, when you look at the hexagon and you see right there the North Pole of Saturn, you see again, you're dealing with that Saturn energy. There's no doubt about it. You see? And so this is actually in Arabic. And so this was the seal of Solomon in the occult of the Arabs, Islam, and they too use the hexagon, and many other, but this is the seal of Solomon. So we verify that the seal of Solomon was a hexagon. Now this is also coming out of it, and you see actually the symbol of Saturn in one of the sigils. You see right there, you see it right there in the middle. You see the symbol of Saturn, so we know that they're using it. You see, we know that they're using it, that he was one. Now the thing is that Saturn was also L. You see, now we talking now. Because now that we understand that Saturn is L, he's also Mola, he's Ball, he's Herod, he's many other, because you can see the aspects. You see, Baal was a god of lightning and storm. So Baal was actually equated to Zeus and Thor, while El was attributed to Saturn. You see? And so you see right here, the ancient name of Saturn was Kronos or El. And so when you say Elohim, you see, you speaking the El, you speaking of Saturn. You see, equaling God, the Lord of the Rings. You see, those that were chosen, elected by El, were called elites, allowed to wear a crown. Crown comes from the word chronos, and that's correct. In fact, the words elect, elder, elevated, Elohim, temp-el, circle, gospel, apostle, disciple, evangelist, all derived from the code of El. And I could go even deeper. You see, when you say Israel, Emmanuel. See, that's where I'm going to show tomorrow, I'm going to show you how Jesus is Saturn. He's the son of Saturn, and in many aspects is Saturn. I'm going to deal with that Bethel, the house of El, the house of Saturn, Gabriel, Michael. You see? And so when you got to know that, because El and I don't see how they get away with that. And and they keep claiming, and they know that they can't. And God in the Bible commanded them to burn everything of the Canaanites. You understand? Burn everything. But yet and still they ends up not only usurping them, keeping their religious texts and using many words right out of the Canaanite religious system. So you see right here, you see a Mesopotamian pantheon, Anu. You see Semitic pantheon, El, and you see the Greek pantheon, Chronos, which is Saturn. You see in the Mesopotamia, you see Elil, in the Semitic pantheon, Baal, and in the Greek pantheon, Zeus, and in the Nordic pantheon, Thor. You see what I'm saying? So even when you see Thor, he's of the Saturn energy. You see? And then you got Enki, then you got and we don't Kothar and Pisces. You see, so they show you the equivalent of these deities. Now this is in Britain, where you see Cronus up there, Saturn, you see, and you see the clock, because he's the father, he's father time. And I'm gonna prove it that Jesus know that Saturn is his father, and we're gonna get to that tomorrow. You see, and so when you talk about, and we're gonna show you, watch me now. So when you see Saturn, we say the cube is Saturn. We just dealt with that. Wait a minute. Let me drop the sigil in there. Matter of fact, where's the one that showed the cube? Here. Matter of fact, I want that tough one too. There's that tough. You know what? I could just take it right off of here. I'll take it right off of here. Okay. You see it there. So you know that they both into the Saturn energy. And just like, when you watch, and I told you that the Jew, you see, he got the teflon, and you see they have to wrap it around their arm 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, he didn't wrap it more. I read where they have to wrap it 7 times. So I don't know what's going on. I know this one right here, he got it 7. Let me do it. Okay, let me get it in. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. He got around that 6. He got around that 7. I heard it was 7 times. And so I'm gonna have to go back in just to verify, you know what I'm saying, that they wrap it around their arm 7 times. You see, because that's the same amount of time that the Muslims have to go around the Kaaba. You see, and so when you see them, you have to understand that the black cube is a symbol of Saturn. You see, is a symbol of Saturn, and you can see that they're so they're circling the Kaaba. You understand, 7 times, and they're moving in a centrifugal energy just like Saturn. So if you see Saturn, you see the ring spinning, and then you come down here and you see, they're doing the same thing. You see, they're doing the same thing. And so they're, this is the Saturn, and this is the Saturn worship, you understand, in Islam. You understand, with the Jew and also the Christian. Because the thing is, when you open up the cross, when you open up the let me see if I got it down. You know what? It's over here. Where is that Saturn? Where's Saturn? I'm gonna show it. Let me see. Right. Bingo. I got it. Let me get back down here. Let me get back down here, y'all. And I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. Cause I'm just starting on this. This ain't about to be, this just the beginning. I'm gonna be right black tomorrow. Where am I at? What's up here? Okay, here we go. Okay, let me drop it in so y'all can see. So when you open up the cube, you see that the cube become a cross. So they all into it. You see what I'm saying? They all a part of that. You see? And and so when but the thing is, when I was looking, I said, you know what? They did not want to bring up Hellraiser. I've been bringing up Hellraiser for years and dealing with this and showing the cube of Hellraiser. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here, let me throw this over. No, matter of fact, it's already up there. It's already up there. Okay. When you talking about Hellraiser, that's that Saturn energy right there. That's that cube. You understand what I'm saying? They showing you the power of that shit. Now, I'm going in just to let you know and shit what the basis of it is. You see what I'm saying? The basis of the cube is it's a cell. You see, it's a cell, and and the thing is, if it's a black box, you see, ain't nothing can escape it. You see, nothing can escape it. Yeah, because that carbon, that blackness is absorbing all energy, all color spectrum, all light. So if you're on the inside of that, you ain't never coming out. You see what I'm saying? You ain't never coming out. They're just like the black hole. You see, and so it's a prison. And when you think about it's a prison. A circle is ever flowing, but when you talk, it's a container. And so when they say you boxed in, you see what I'm saying? A cell. And so these is things of the cube that you got to know and understand that they're doing to the universe and shit. You know what I'm saying? And when you talk about and not just it's just a cell, you got to understand this is what they're doing to the planet. You understand what I'm saying? That's that Talmud where they talk about the Jews should rule, and when the Messiah come back, that the Jews will rule the planet. That's what they say in the Talmud, that they will be rulers of the planet. So you better know that. And so you got to know that Talmud and that Kabbalah is Saturn. Ain't no damn Yahweh. El is Saturn. So when they say Elohim and they say Emmanuel and so on, you got to know the archetypes. And when you know the archetypes and the variations, the veil will start to lift and you will get a greater understanding of what is actually being taught before your eyes. This is just the beginning of the day. We're getting ready to open up a great cycle of education, family. I want to thank y'all for being in the house today. We'll be right back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you tune in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about to get deep, family. We just putting out, just putting a toe in the water today. You know what I'm saying? We just putting the toe in the water. It's gonna get much deeper, family. All right, family. This is the General Sarah Susan said. He said, "Hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black Power."